First one ever. We've done the Tennessee National the last 2 years, and I've done a bunch of other nationals on the East Coast throughout my career, but never one of these. So which is funny because I was teammates with Nico for a long time, neighbors with Logan now, and hang out with those boys a lot, and never been to one of their races. So really excited to be here, and I think now that we're on the East Coast full time, I think we'll be doing a lot more in the future. I love these types of local races. It's a little more relaxed. You've got all your friends out here, everybody's just riding, having a good time. So this is about as good as it gets, man. As bikes have kind of developed and there's been more options available for younger kids, it's crazy to see like the amount of young kids getting into downhill racing now and how fast they are at a young age. I started racing BMX at like 4. So seeing these little kids out here just ripping. Logan and I were on the side of the track yesterday and this little kid came ripping by the rock garden, like on like the pro line, all that stuff. He was probably like 12 maybe, and it's cool to see. I dig it for sure. It's gonna be pretty interesting to see what those kids are like when they get to be 16. They're just in this competitive like atmosphere with each other, being able to have races like this to develop. I think for the American racing scene, it's kind of like one of the most important things that we need to keep kind of producing World Cup guys at the top level. Being in the position now to be able to maybe inspire younger kids and show them that you can have like a legit career racing a downhill bike. If you're successful, you can do it for a living and potentially retire when you're done racing. I think being able to take downhill into that sort of level, and for a race series like this to be able to help kids kind of start that out and have like programs and stuff like the Gravity Academy and different things that are here kind of helping young kids, I think it's awesome, man. I hope we can kind of keep building it. But I think really having a race series like this is kind of the foundation to everything, because if you're not able to be at races and competing and like really working on your skill, it's hard to do. So having a series like this I think is pretty key for those kids. Yeah, so this will be my 4th year running, owning, and operating the Intense Factory Racing team for Intense. This year we've had some big changes within the team. We've added 2 more riders, Joe Breeden out of the UK and Dakota Norton, who lives right down the street here. So we've bumped up to a 4-rider team with Seth and I remaining on the team. We've had a couple of new sponsors come in with V Tires, Smania Saddles, and a couple other brands like that. And we've got a whole new bike we've been prototyping. We'll be racing this weekend, and just it's been really good, man. It's been a fun process to kind of help try to get Intense back to the top of the downhill racing game. We've really, I feel like, made a lot of progress in a lot of ways over the off season. I think that'll really start to show later in the year as we get a little more time with some things. But yeah, it's just been fun, man. We got a really cool group of people, and I think we just got back from France a couple days ago, and I was telling the guys, I'm like, I don't think I've ever enjoyed my racing, riding, and hanging with the team as much as I do now, like over my whole career. We've got a really cool group of people, and I'm just hoping we can really get the results as we get deeper into the season. When I came out for the National here last year, it was really an eye-opener to how cool the scene was here. Like, there's a lot of fast guys between Dakota and Nico and Luca and all these guys that were riding and training out here. I really just love the vibe of riding and hanging out. The tracks here are really good. Just kind of everything that I was kind of looking for to try to make a little bit of progress. So between being able to ride here and then obviously have Dakota, who's always riding at top World Cup speed, and him and I becoming good friends now and being able to kind of ride and train together, both on the downhill bike and like in the gym, and like when we're doing intervals and stuff. We're gonna be out doing sprints on Monday right after this race is over. It's just cool, man. I think it'll help both of us be able to really push each other and to kind of ride at that top level now. I think in some ways, I don't know that you really need it, but I think it's, if you can get kind of that dynamic, I think it's super helpful. So I'm stoked to be riding and working with him.